Hi, I'm Anika, 24, and this is the craziest story that ever happened to me. You won't believe how a simple arranged marriage meeting turned into a nightmare, and how I turned it around for the best revenge. Trust me, you'll want to hear every detail. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe for more shocking stories like this. This happened 2 years ago, and honestly, it changed the way I see people forever. I come from a traditional family, the kind where arranged marriages are not just a possibility, they're expected. My parents had found someone they thought was perfect for me, charming, successful, and from a good family. On paper, everything looked perfect. But as I learned, perfection is sometimes the most dangerous disguise. The first meeting was polite. I wore my best outfit, smiled politely, and tried to make small talk. Everything seemed normal until I noticed little hints that something was off. He was charming, yes, but it was the kind of charm that made people trust him instantly, even if you didn't know him at all. I remember thinking, something feels weird. Fast forward a few weeks, and I started noticing messages on Reddit from someone who knew him, anonymously, of course. They were like little breadcrumbs. He's not who he says he is. Watch out. You'll regret it if you marry him. I was curious, but also skeptical. Could strangers on Reddit really know more than my own instincts? One evening, after he left a family dinner, I logged in again and saw a new post titled, "Arranged Marriage Disaster Waiting to Happen." My heart stopped. The story was eerily detailed. Mentions of lies he had told, manipulations, and even past relationships where he had hurt people. I froze, feeling a mix of fear and anger. How dare he think he could deceive me? That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept reading post after post, connecting dots that no one else in my family saw. And then it hit me. I didn't have to be a victim. I could take control of the situation. I started planning. Not a violent revenge, but a smart, careful strategy that would expose him, protect myself, and teach him a lesson he'd never forget. I won't lie. It wasn't easy. Every step required patience, observation, and keeping my emotions in check. But I promised myself if he tried to manipulate me, I would be 2 steps ahead. And you won't believe what happened the next time I met him in person. When the day of our next meeting came, I walked in with a calm smile, but inside my mind was racing with all the information I had gathered. I knew I had to act normal, like I hadn't read anything, like I trusted him completely. And trust me, playing that role was harder than it sounds. Every word he spoke, every gesture he made, I was analyzing. I was hunting for the cracks. He tried to impress me again with the usual charm. Stories about his career, his adventures, and his supposedly caring personality. But this time, I had the knowledge to see through all of it. A slip of the tongue here, a tiny contradiction there, and I could tell he thought he was being clever. Oh, he had no idea I was already 2 steps ahead. After the meeting, he sent me a message saying, "I can't wait to start our life together. You'll see, I'm perfect for you." I stared at it and felt a surge of amusement mixed with anger. Perfect? Really? I decided it was time to take the first step in my plan. I didn't reply. Instead, I created a little trap. A situation where his lies would be revealed without me having to confront him directly. I started posting anonymous messages on Reddit, carefully sharing the exact contradictions and manipulations I had observed, phrased as someone giving advice about arranged marriages. It didn't take long before people started commenting, connecting the dots, and the story started to gain traction. And guess what? Someone he knew from his past spotted it and reached out to me privately, confirming everything. It was like the universe was helping me set the stage for the ultimate exposure. Then came the day of the final meeting with my family present. I knew he was planning to propose formally, thinking he was still in control. But I had a surprise for him. I calmly brought up the things I had learned, stories, messages, and hints of his past behavior. His face changed. I saw panic, confusion, and for the first time, a flicker of fear. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just presented the facts and let them speak for themselves. My family, who had always trusted me, was shocked but grateful I had uncovered the truth before it was too late. And him? He realized in that moment that his charm didn't work on me, and that his reputation was crumbling in front of people who mattered most. The best part? He had no idea I had used Reddit to expose him. I had turned his own world upside down without him even knowing the mastermind behind it. And that was just the beginning. Because I wasn't done yet. After that final meeting, things changed completely. The man who thought he could manipulate me and my family suddenly found himself isolated. Friends I had never met personally began sharing their experiences with him, thanks to the careful Reddit threads I had started. One by one, his lies, fake stories, and manipulations came to light. I wasn't doing this to be cruel. I was doing this to protect myself and anyone else who might fall into his trap. But the real satisfaction came from the small, personal moments. He tried to contact me afterward, acting like nothing had happened, sending sweet messages, gifts, and even apologies. I didn't respond. Instead, I let him linger in uncertainty, wondering why he had lost control. It was poetic justice. The same man who thrived on charm, deception, and control was now powerless. I also realized something important during all this. I had grown stronger. I had learned how to trust my instincts, gather information, and act strategically. It wasn't just about revenge, it was about empowerment. I had taken control of a situation that could have destroyed my life and turned it into a lesson in self-respect and intelligence. Eventually, my family and I laughed about the situation together. They were proud that I had handled it with grace, calm, and strategy rather than anger. And the man? He faded from our lives, probably telling himself he had lost, but in reality, he had simply underestimated me. I had learned the most important lesson of all. Never let anyone assume they can control you, no matter how charming or convincing they seem. Looking back, it's still a little surreal. I went from being a nervous girl attending arranged marriage meetings to a woman who had outsmarted someone who thought he could play her. Every time I log into Reddit and see people sharing their own warnings and experiences, I smile quietly because I know that maybe, just maybe, my story helped someone else avoid the same trap. So, if there's one thing I want you to take from this, it's this. Trust your instincts, don't be afraid to gather information, and never let anyone manipulate your life. Revenge doesn't have to be messy. It can be clever, calculated, and empowering. And if you want to hear more stories where women take control and get justice, subscribe now and don't miss the next shocking story coming to this channel.